Christ is risen. Christos anesti. Christos voskrese. El Msichkom. Ha Mashiachkom. Christus resurrexit. Cristo ha resucitado. Christos anviat. Christi uniao. Aristotosu fukatsu. Hidu fuhola. Christo boahashane. 2 Kings, 2 Samuel in Hebrew, chapters 8 through 11. And it came to pass after this that David smote the Philistines and put them to flight, and David took the tribute from out of the hand of the Philistines. And David smote Moab and measured them out with lines, having laid them down on the ground. And there were 2 lines for slaying, and 2 lines he kept alive. And Moab became servants to David, yielding tribute. And David smote Adreazar, the son of Rahab, king of Suba, and he went to extend his power to the river Euphrates. And David took 1,000 of his chariots, and 7,000 horsemen, and 20,000 footmen. And David hawked all his chariot horses, and reserved to himself 100 chariots. And Syria of Damascus comes to help Adreazar, king of Suba, and David smote 22,000 men belonging to the Syrian. And David placed a garrison in Syria near Damascus, and the Syrians became servants and tributaries to David. And the Lord preserved David whithersoever he went. And David took the golden bracelets which were on the servants of Adreazar, king of Suba, and brought them to Jerusalem. And Susa king of Egypt took them, and he went up to Jerusalem in the days of Rehoboam, son of Solomon. And King David took from Metabach and from choice cities of Adreazar very much brass, with that Solomon made the brazen sea, and the pillars, and the lavers, and all the furniture. And Thoo, the king of Hemath, heard that David had smitten all the host of Adreazar. And Thoo sent Jeduram his son to King David to ask him his welcome, and to congratulate him on his fighting against Adreazar and smiting him, for he was an enemy to Adreazar. And in his hands were vessels of silver, and vessels of gold, and vessels of brass. And these King David consecrated to the Lord with the silver and the gold which he consecrated out of all the cities which he conquered, out of Idumea, and out of Moab, and from the children of Ammon, and from the Philistines, and from Amalek, and from the spoils of Adreazar, son of Rahab, king of Suba. And David made himself a name, and when he returned, he smote Idumea and Gebilim to the number of 18,000. And he sent garrisons in Idumea, even in all Idumea. And all the Idumeans were servants to the king, and the Lord preserved David wherever he went. And David reigned over all Israel, and David wrought judgment and justice over all his people. And Joab the son of Zeruiah was over the host, and Josaphat the son of Achalud was keeper of the records, and Sadok the son of Akatob and Achimelech the son of Abiathar were priests, and Sasa was the scribe, and Benias the son of Jodai was counselor, and the Kelethite and the Phelethite and the sons of David were princes of the court. And David said, Is there yet any one left in the house of Saul, that I may deal kindly with him for Jonathan's sake? And there was a servant of the house of Saul, and his name was Siba, and they called him to David. And the king said to him, Art thou Siba? And he said, I am thy servant. And the king said, Is there yet a man left of the house of Saul, that I may act towards him with the mercy of God? And Siba said to the king, There is yet a son of Jonathan, lame of his feet. And the king said, Where is he? And Siba said to the king, Behold, he is in the house of Machir, son of Amiel of Lodabar. And King David sent, and took him out of the house of Machir, the son of Amiel of Lodabar. And Mephibosheth, the son of Jonathan, the son of Saul, comes to King David, and he fell upon his face and did obeisance to him. And David said to him, Mephibosheth, and he said, Behold thy servant. And David said to him, Fear not, for I will surely deal mercifully with thee, for the sake of Jonathan thy father. And I will restore to thee all the land of Saul, the father of thy father, and thou shalt eat bread at my table continually. And Mephibosheth did obeisance, and said, Who am I thy servant, that thou hast looked upon a dead dog like me? And the king called Siba the servant of Saul, and said to him, All that belong to Saul, and to all thy house have I given to the son of thy lord. And thou, and thy sons, and thy servants shall till the land for him, and thou shalt bring in bread to the son of thy lord, and he shall eat bread. And Mephibosheth the son of thy lord shall eat bread continually at my table. Now Siba had 15 sons and 20 servants. And Siba said to the king, According to all that my lord, the king has commanded his servants, so will thy servant do. And Mephibosheth did eat at the table of David, as one of the sons of the king. And Mephibosheth had a little son, and his name was Micah. And all the household of Siba were servants to Mephibosheth. And Mephibosheth dwelt in Jerusalem, for he continually ate at the table of the king, and he was lame in both his feet. And it came to pass after this that the king of the children of Ammon died, and Amnon his son reigned in his stead. And David said, I will show mercy to Amnon the son of Naas, as his father dealt mercifully with me. And David sent to comfort him concerning his father, by the hand of his servants. And the servants of David came into the land of the children of Ammon. And the princes of the children of Ammon said to Amnon their lord, Is it to honor thy father before thee that David has sent comforters to thee? Has not David rather sent his servants to thee, that they should search the city, and spy it out, and examine it? And Amnon took the servants of David, and shaved their beards, and cut off their garments in the midst as far as their haunches, and sent them away. And they brought David word concerning the men, and he sent to meet them, for the men were greatly dishonored. And the king said, Remain in Jericho till your beards have grown, and then ye shall return. And the children of Ammon saw that the people of David were ashamed. And the children of Ammon sent, and hired the Syrians of Bethraim, and the Syrians of Suba, and Roob, 20,000 footmen, and the king of Amalek with 1,000 men, and Istub with 12,000 men. And David heard, and sent Joab and all his host, even the mighty men. And the children of Ammon went forth, and set the battle in array by the door of the gate, those of Syria, Suba, and Roob, and Istub, and Amalek, being by themselves in the field. And Joab saw that the front of the battle was against him, from that which was opposed in front and from behind. And he chose out some of all the young men of Israel, and they set themselves in array against Syria. And the rest of the people he gave into the hand of Abessa his brother, and they set the battle in array opposite to the children of Ammon. And he said, If Syria be too strong for me, then shall ye help me. And if the children of Ammon be too strong for thee, then will we be ready to help thee. Be thou courageous, and let us be strong for our people, and for the sake of the cities of our God, and the Lord shall do that which is good in his eyes. And Joab and his people with him advanced to battle against Syria, and they fled from before him. And the children of Ammon saw that the Syrians were fled, and they fled from before Abessa, and entered into the city. And Joab returned from the children of Ammon, and came to Jerusalem. And the Syrians saw that they were worsted before Israel, and they gathered themselves together. And Adreazar sent and gathered the Syrians from the other side of the river Kalamach, and came to Elam, and Sobach, the captain of the host of Adreazar, was at their head. And it was reported to David, and he gathered all Israel, and went over to Jordan, and came to Elam. And the Syrians set the battle in array against David, and fought with him. And Syria fled from before Israel, and David destroyed Syria's 700 chariots, and 40,000 horsemen, and he smote Sobach, the captain of his host, and he died there. And all the kings of the servants of Adreazar saw that they were put to the worse before Israel, and they went over to Israel and served them. And Syria was afraid to help the children of Ammon any more. And it came to pass, when the time of the year for kings going out to battle had come round, that David sent Joab and his servants with him, and all Israel, and they destroyed the children of Ammon, and besieged Rabbath. But David remained at Jerusalem. And it came to pass toward evening, that David arose off his couch, and walked on the roof of the king's house, and saw from the roof a woman bathing, and the woman was very beautiful to look upon. And David sent and inquired about the woman, and one said, Is not this Bersabee, the daughter of Eliab, the wife of Uriah the Hittite? And David sent messengers, and took her, and went into her, and he lay with her, and she was purified from her uncleanness, and returned to her house. And the woman conceived, and she sent and told David, and said, I am with child. And David sent to Joab, saying, Send me Uriah the Hittite. And Joab sent Uriah to David. And Uriah arrived and went in to him. And David asked him how Joab was, and how the people were, and how the war went on. And David said to Uriah, Go to thy house, and wash thy feet. And Uriah departed from the house of the king, and a portion of meat from the king followed him. And Uriah slept at the door of the king with the servants of his lord, and went not down to his house. And they brought David word, saying, Uriah has not gone down to his house. And David said to Uriah, Art thou not come from a journey? Why hast thou not gone down to thy house? And Uriah said to David, The ark and Israel and Judah dwell in tents, and my lord Joab and all the servants of my lord are encamped in the open fields. And I shall go into my house to eat and drink, and lie with my wife? How should I do this? As thy soul lives, I will not do this thing. And David said to Uriah, Remain here today also, and tomorrow I will let thee go. So Uriah remained in Jerusalem that day and the day following. And David called him, and he ate before him, and drank, and he made him drunk. And he went out into the evening to lie upon his bed with the servants of his lord, and went not down to his house. And the morning came, and David wrote a letter to Joab, and sent it by the hand of Urias. And he wrote in the letter, saying, Station Urias in the front of the severe part of the fight, and retreat from behind him, so shall he be wounded and die. And it came to pass, while Joab was watching against the city, they sent Urias in a place where he knew that valiant men were. And the men of the city went out and fought with Joab, and some of the people of the servants of David fell, and Urias the Hittite died also. And Joab sent and reported to David all the events of the war, so as to tell them to the king. And he charged the messengers, saying, When thou hast finished reporting all the events of the war to the king, then it shall come to pass, if the anger of the king shall rise, and shall he say to thee, Why did ye draw nigh to the city to fight? Knew ye not they would shoot from off the wall? Who smote Abimelech the son of Jerubbaal, son of Ner? Did not a woman cast a piece of millstone upon him from above the wall, and he died in Thamasi? Why did ye draw near to the wall? Then thou shalt say, Thy servant Urias the Hittite is also dead. And the messenger of Joab went to the king to Jerusalem, and he came and reported to David all that Joab had told him, and all the affairs of the war. And David was very angry with Joab, and said to the messenger, Why did ye draw nigh to the wall to fight? Knew ye not that ye would be wounded from off the wall? Who smote Abimelech the son of Jerubbaal? Did not a woman cast upon him a piece of millstone from the wall, and he died in Thamasi? Why did ye draw near to the wall? And the messenger said to David, The men prevailed against us, and they came out against us into the field. We came upon them, even to the door of the gate. And the archers shot at thy servants from off the wall, and some of the king's servants died. And thy servant Urias the Hittite is dead also. And David said to the messenger, Thus shalt thou say to Joab, Let not the matter be grievous in thine eyes, for the sword devours one way at one time, and another way at another. Strengthen thine array against the city, and destroy it, and strengthen him. And the wife of Urias heard that Urias her husband was dead, and she mourned for her husband. And the time of mourning expired, and David sent and took her into his house, and she became his wife, and bore him a son. But the thing which David did was evil in the eyes of the Lord. Psalm 90, 91 in Hebrew. Praise of a song by David. He that dwells in the help of the highest shall sojourn under the shelter of the God of heaven. He shall say to the Lord, Thou art my helper and my refuge. My God, I will hope in him. For he shall deliver thee from the snare of the hunters, from every troublesome matter. He shall overshadow thee with his shoulders, and thou shalt trust under his wings. His truth shall cover thee with a shield. Thou shalt not be afraid of terror by night, nor of the arrow flying by day, nor of the evil thing that walks in darkness, nor of calamity, and the evil spirit at noonday. 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee. Only with thine eyes shalt thou observe and see the reward of sinners. For thou, O Lord, art my hope. Thou, my soul, hast made the Most High thy refuge. No evil shall come upon thee, and no scourge shall draw nigh to thy dwelling. For he shall give his angels charge concerning thee, to keep thee in all thy ways. They shall bear thee up on their hands, lest at any time thou dash thy foot against a stone. Thou shalt tread on the asp and basilisk, and thou shalt trample on the lion and dragon. For he has hoped in me, and I will deliver him. I will protect him, because he has known my name. He shall call upon me, and I will hearken to him. I am with him in affliction, and I will deliver him and glorify him. I will satisfy him with the length of days, and show him my salvation. Proverbs chapter 19, verses 19 through 24. A malicious man shall be severely punished, and if he commit injury, he shall also lose his life. Hear, son, the instruction of thy father, that thou mayest be wise at thy latter end. There are many thoughts in a man's heart, but the counsel of the Lord abides forever. Mercy is a fruit to a man, and a poor man is better than a rich liar. The fear of the Lord is life to a man, and he shall lodge without fear in places where knowledge is not seen. He that unjustly hides his hands in his bosom will not even bring them up to his mouth. The Holy Gospel according to St. Luke, chapter 15, verses 25 through 35. And there went great multitudes with him, and he turned and said unto them, If any man come to me, and hate not his father and mother, and wife, and children, and brethren, and sisters, yea, and his own life also, he cannot be my disciple. And whosoever doth not bear his cross, and come after me, cannot be my disciple. For which of you, intending to build a tower, sitteth not down first, and counteth the cost, whether he have sufficient to finish it? Lest haply, after he hath laid the foundation, and is not able to finish it, all that behold it begin to mock him, saying, This man began to build, and was not able to finish. Or what king, going to make war against another king, sitteth not down first, and consulteth whether he be able with 10,000 to meet him that cometh against him with 20,000. Or else, while the other is yet a great way off, he sendeth an ambassage, and desireth conditions of peace. So likewise, whosoever he be of you that forsaketh not all that he hath, he cannot be my disciple. Salt is good, but if the salt have lost its savour, wherewith shall it be seasoned? It is neither fit for the land, nor yet for the dunghill. But men cast it out. He that hath ears to hear, let him hear.